ทุกคนก็คงทราบดีอยู่แล้วว่าคุณเคลัมแล้วก็นีนีเนี่ยจดทะเบียนสมรสแล้วก็แต่งงานกันที่นิวยอร์กแล้วตั้งแต่วันที่ 5 เมษายนที่ผ่านมานะคะแล้วก็เป็นอีกวันหนึ่งที่สำคัญมากกับทั้งคู่เพราะว่าจะได้ร่วมกันเก็บภาพความประทับใจแล้วก็ความทรงจำดีๆกับครอบครัวแล้วก็เพื่อนสนิทที่ไม่ได้ไปงานที่นิวยอร์กหรือว่าที่สวนสามพรานนะคะในโอกาสนี้เนี่ยทั้งสองคนขอขอบคุณแขกทุกท่านที่สละเวลาแล้วก็ร่วมเดินทางมาจัดงานที่นี่ซึ่งถือเป็นการปิดท้ายการเฉลิมฉลองงานแต่งงานอย่างของทั้งคู่อย่างสวยงามท่ามกลางบรรยากาศเบาๆสบายๆที่หาดชะอำแห่งนี้นะคะหลายคนเนี่ยอาจจะเพิ่งเคยเจอกับคุณแคลัมเป็นครั้งแรกแล้วก็อาจจะยังไม่ทราบว่าทั้งสองคนเนี่ยคบกันได้ยังไงจางก็จะขอเล่าสั้นๆให้ฟังว่าเป็นยังไงนะคะนี่กับคุณแคลัมเนี่ยพบกันผ่านทางการทำงานทั้งสองคนเจอกันครั้งแรกตอนที่นีเริ่มทำงานที่ planning group ซึ่งคุณเคลัมเนี่ยก็อยู่ในกลุ่มนั้นด้วยแต่ตอนนั้นเนี่ยคุณเคลัมยังประจำอยู่ที่อังกฤษแล้วก็ได้ย้ายกลับมาประจำอยู่ที่อเมริกาทั้งคู่เนี่ยมีโอกาสเจอกันมากขึ้นหลังจากที่คุณเคลัมย้ายกลับมาที่นิวยอร์กแล้วนะคะมีการทำงานร่วมกันแล้วก็มีการสั่งที่คุณเคลัมเองเนี่ยก็อยากให้นีเรียนรู้เวลาแล้วก็เป็นระเบียบขึ้นกว่านี้อีกนิดนึงแต่สุดท้ายแล้วเนี่ยเรื่องทั้งสองเนี่ยก็จะเป็นแค่เรื่องเล็กๆน้อยๆที่เขาก็จะสามารถปรับตัวเข้าหากันได้ทั้งสองคนเนี่ยมีชีวิตที่ค่อนข้างยุ่งมากทำงานหนักแล้วก็เดินทางตลอดเวลาเพื่อจะทั้งทำงานแล้วก็เพื่อให้ได้ใช้เวลากับครอบครัวซึ่งก็ไม่ได้อยู่ประเทศเดียวกันการขอแต่งงานของทั้งคู่เนี่ยอาจจะแปลกนะคะหลายๆคู่เนี่ยอาจจะเป็นการนัดไปที่ดินเนอร์หรือว่าขอแต่งงานท่ามกลางของกลีบกุหลาบอะไรก็ตามแต่คู่นี้ค่อนข้างแปลกนิดนึงเพราะว่าตอนนั้นเนี่ยมีเพื่อนสนิทของทั้งคู่ก็คือคุณทอมเนี่ยเกิดเสียชีวิตไปอย่างกระทันหันแล้วทางนีแล้วก็คุณเคลัมเนี่ยก็ได้ไปร่วมงานศพที่บ้านของคุณทอมนะคะตอนนั้นเนี่ยคุณเคลัมเนี่ยเหมือนคิดขึ้นมาได้เลยว่าชีวิตเนี่ยมันสั้นถ้าเรารู้ว่าสิ่งไหนเป็นสิ่งที่สำคัญกับเราเนี่ยเราก็ต้องไม่ปล่อยให้มันไปซึ่งสำหรับคุณเคลัมแล้วเนี่ยการใช้ชีวิตที่เหลือกับนีเนี่ยมันคือสิ่งที่สำคัญที่สุดของเขาทั้งนั้นเนี่ยท่ามกลางเพื่อนๆที่อยู่กันเต็มบ้านในงานศพเนี่ยคุณเคลัมมาแอบกระซิบนีว่าขอแต่งงานและแน่นอนนีก็ตอบตกลงนะคะจากนั้นทั้งคู่ก็ได้มั่นกันแล้วก็ร่วมกันวางแผนแต่งงานซึ่งก็มีวันนี้ด้วยในสุดท้ายนะคะมันจะมีเขียนว่า We may not have it all together but together we have it all นี่ก็คือสุดท้ายของ Love Story ของทั้งคู่ค่ะ
Thank you, Jan. That was beautifully read. Yes, I followed every word of that. Whilst Calum and Ninee exchanged vows at the New York ceremony, they now would like to do it so again in front of you all.
You close, to listen intently when you talk, to try and ignore your inability to tell the time, to be passionate about all that is you, to support you with my strength, to never take you for granted, to endeavour to ignore the messiness that you create, to be faithful in words and actions, to love you for all the days of my life. I love you. I've lost yours. I think so.
Calum, I fell in love with your kindness, your compassion, your sensitivity, and your sense of humor. I had always questioned whether anyone could ever love me and care about me as much as my parents until we got together, although at times you might have a different way of showing. As much as I try to proclaim otherwise, I know I'm not perfect, and you accept me for all that I am and all that I have. You make me feel so loved every single day, and I cannot imagine a life without you. Together, we're better than we could ever hope to be alone, and I feel so blessed to have you in my life, which, as of April, becomes our life together. Loving what I know of you and trusting what I do not know, I promise to stand by you always, in good times and bad, and even when you are unreasonable or in a grump mode. To love and care for you and your girls, to not nag you too much about eating fish and exercise, to always be honest with you, kind, patient, and forgiving, to be your chauffeur when you want a bit more to drink, to always make you and your girls the priority in my life, to never take you for granted, to try to be on time and more tidy, to always be your partner, your best friend, and your number one fan. But most of all, I promise to always give all that I have and all that I am for you, for us. I love you.
I'm ready. Okay, I and Ninee, we are friends. It's my girl, sorry. I and Ninee, we are friends since we were 14 years old. And we are friends for more than 20 years. Actually, we are together only for 3 years when we study in Bodhin School. And then Ninee is very smart, so she get enter into the university before us. She get enter into Chulalongkorn University, and I'm going to Kasetsat University. Then I went to study further in Australia, and she went to USA and stayed there until now. Even though we have time together, very few, 3 years, but every time when we have talk, when you have a call, when we have met, things are always the same like we were 14 years old. That is what best friends are for. So on the day that Calum proposed Ninee, I actually dreamed about you. In my dream, I just surprised that how come you come to Thailand, I don't know. And you just smile. Then in the next 2 days, you call me and said, Jang, I've got great news to share. I've got proposed and I'll be married. So actually, I used to wonder, how come Ninee will get married? Because you are too perfect. But today, when you are together, it's much more perfect. So congratulations to Ninee and Calum. I wish you both have a happy couple life together ever after.
Friends. As Jang mentioned earlier, we knew each other since we were 14. And as people in my generation, or at least my friends from the table over here, we stopped counting how old we are long time ago. So let's just say that we have known each other more than 2/3 of our lives, and that's a really long time. So when I sat down to prepare for this speech, I just realized, it just hit me that our relationship is not only long, but also a special one. As Jang mentioned earlier, we only knew each other for only 3 years from our junior high to high school because Ninee was really smart and she skipped 2 grades to go to the universities. It was until when I went to the US to further my studies that I had more time with her and we became even closer. At that time, I remember Ninee just entered into her PhD program at the University of Michigan while working full-time at PwC in New York. And for me, Ninee is a kind and generous person. She loved her parents more than anything. And I'm sure that her mom would be so proud today to see her walking on the aisles today in her mom's old wedding dress. And Ninee has the same care also for her friends. And I knew this because I experienced it firsthand. There are so many times that I would give her a call during her busy schedules. Needed her for my relationship problems and other things. And if she charged me by number of hours that she charged her clients, I would probably owe her $100,000. So about Calum, I had a few chances to meet with Calum, but it wasn't really sufficient time to know what kind of a boyfriend he was to Ninee. So until they told us that they would come visit us in Vienna, I was like, wow, that was a good opportunity for me to see, get to see him close up. But it wasn't really Calum that I saw. So when we were watching the Eurovision singing contest, and I remember he had the same head shaking, like no, when he heard the Eurovision. That what I saw was not really Calum, but I noticed my friend that the love that she has, or the love in general, can turn her into a little kitten. The one that can be messy, the one that can be super sweet. So as everyone knows that, and I think everyone would be surprised to hear in her vows and her wedding, the love stories, that Ninee is a messy person, because we know that she is, very smart and very mature lady. So after trying to figuring out like what was going on, she was never like that with me. So I think it was all you, Calum. I think you made her feel so comfortable and so taken. Well, she feel that she all taken care of by you. That she feel like she can be messy here and there when she's around you, because she was never like that when she was with me. So anyone to blame, it's just you. Okay. So joking aside, Nini told me a long time ago, really long time ago, that she never felt so loved by someone like you. And I know that she has the same love that you have for her to you too. So before I end my speech, I would like just to remind Calum one more time that Nini is very special to us and very special to me. And we will be watching you, so you better take good care of her. So in closing, I would like to ask everyone to raise their glass to the bride and grooms.
Thailand for these beautiful wedding celebrations. Along with this fantastic experience came the dubious question of my making a speech on their behalf. So here goes. Firstly, I would like to answer a question which apparently caused some confusion at the Bangkok wedding. The question of whether or not Paul and I are really Calum's parents. Apparently, some suspect that this may not be the case. Well, you are correct. Calum is not younger than he looks, and I am not his mother. Calum and I actually met when we were 10 years old. Our parents married when we were 12. I have a sister, and Calum has a sister. So at first, life wasn't easy for Calum, as he was suddenly thrown into a house full of women. It wasn't so long, though, before the young Calum realised that along with all these pesky sisters came a whole flock of exponentially more interesting potential girlfriends. We went to an all-girls school, and Calum boarded at an all-boys. So weekends and holidays were full of intrigue about who was dating who as we went round and round in circles. We grew up in an idyllic setting of rural countryside and spent our time roaming across the common land in the village pubs and gathering at house parties. Our parents were very strict, however, on the time that we had to be home. But Calum, at an early age, demonstrated signs of his exceptional problem-solving abilities to get us back out. He worked out which steps we could and could not stand on in order to get down the stairs silently, past our parents' bedroom, into the study, out of the window, round the back of the house, over the wall, so that we could continue to party. Calum managed to concentrate just enough to graduate from school. Edinburgh University obviously spotted some potential as Calum embarked on a 4-year drinking degree there in his beloved Scotland. He graduated in 1987 with a history and politics degree and has somehow found himself making a huge success with his career working for PwC in London and New York. It was in New York, most recently, that Calum met Ninee. Someone said to me at the wedding last Tuesday, "Is Calum happy?" They said, "We know Nine's happy, but is Calum happy?" And this is a serious point, and the answer is yes. I can honestly say that for many years I have not seen him happier. I have not seen him as relaxed as he is now. I have not seen him laugh the way he laughs now. And my family are just delighted to see Calum come home with Ninee. On that final note, I would now like, on behalf of our parents who send all their love, to raise a glass to Calum and Ninee, wishing them and their happiness to last forever. Calum and Ninee.
Swadika, we are Calum's daughters, Mary and Isabel.
For those of you who were unable to attend the New York wedding, a common theme of the speeches made there was our dad's grumpiness.
In our speech, we explained how we may be somewhat to blame for this grumpiness, as we at times made his life slightly stressful.
For example, sometimes we bombard him with problems that we expect him to fix despite living 3,500 miles away.
And of course, we are constantly asking the question that I'm sure any father with 2 teenage daughters can relate to. Daddy, can I have X amount of money transferred into my account, please?
Although Mary and I still manage to infuriate him at times, since getting to know Ninee, we have realised that our dad, quite miraculously, has become a slightly less grumpy man.
A main example of this would be our dad's newfound patience for Ninee's lack of punctuality.
For those of you who know him, you will know that our dad is extremely, and quite frankly annoyingly, punctual man.
Over the years that we have known Ninee, we have come to realise that she is not.
Despite their major differences in this area, our dad keeps calm when he is waiting for Ninee.
Some might say that he has finally accepted the fact that he is going to spend his life waiting for women. But we have decided to instead attribute our dad's newfound patience to Ninee.
We want to thank you, Ninee, for actually managing to make our dad a bit less grumpy, a task that not many have achieved.
We are so grateful for the happiness you have brought to our dad, and we look forward to many more happy memories being made by the 4 of us.
Congratulations to both of you, and we love you.
Thank you, girls. And now to finish with Calum and Ninee's very good friend and colleague.
Actually there the night that Calum proposed to Ninee. So this is what I observed from their relationships. Things that they don't have in common. Firstly, Ninee loves to eat dim sum and ramen. Calum does not. He hates almost all kinds of Asian food, but I'll come back to that. Calum loves Indian food. Ninee hates it. So the only time that Calum gets to eat Indian food is doing takeout for one person in New York. Also, as most of you know, Ninee loves getting massages. And I don't get this, but in Thailand, she would get 5-hour straight massages. Calum hates anybody touching him. So there will be no couple massages. And I think the daughter stole my thunder, which is Ninee is always late. Except for client meetings, Ninee is always late. And Calum is very punctual. Also, Ninee cannot organize anything. So when Ninee's parents were visiting the last trip, Ninee was very stressed out. She was trying to figure out where to take her parents. During the last 2 weekends, they did not go anywhere. We were your parents. Yeah, so you're right. She was trying to plan something, but it never really happened. But Calum is much better at planning things. Calum likes to overspend money all the time. So one example is that every time he watches a movie on iTunes, he needs to buy it. He can't just rent a movie. He needs to buy the whole movie, even just watch it one time. And also, he never checks the restaurant bill. So he's always over tipping, over being charged. And Ninee always do the dirty work, which is checking the bills. Okay, lastly, things that they don't have in common. Calum loves
a good bottle of wine. He has a whole wine cellar in the basement. Ninee has no idea what she's drinking most of the time. Okay, things that they have in common. This list is actually harder for me to come up with. The first one is quite lame. They both like the steak medium rare. Okay, and they actually, Calum has it's their house now, but they have a really nice backyard. So they like to barbecue and inviting a lot of friends, which is very nice. So even though I said earlier that Calum doesn't like Asian food, he actually likes Thai food, which obviously is something good to have in common. Next, something they definitely have in common is they think I'm very weird. They remind me of this every single time. Actually, 2 nights ago, they were in agreement as well that I'm very weird. Okay, so this is actually more important stuff. So they're both actually very family oriented. Calum is actually a very loving father, very stressed out by the daughters, especially the younger one, who's happily waving. Ninee, as all you know, she's a loving daughter, very caring about her parents, very worried about her parents. It's all about the parents. So they're both very family oriented. Okay, next is actually very important. They're extremely passionate about their jobs. They can't stop talking about work. On Friday, happy hours, all they talk about is work. So last Friday, I think it was last Friday, Ninee got off work 9 p.m. on a Friday. That's pretty typical of Ninee. So she was talking about work nonstop. So the good news is I think Calum is always there to give her advice and also to just listen. Okay, finally, they do have one hobby together that they both enjoy very much, which is scuba diving. They have done that a few times together, and I think they're going there again in November to scuba dive. So those are my list of things in common. And lastly, I just want to say that this is the 3rd wedding that I've been to now among some of our friends from New York. So this better be happily ever after. Let's toast for Ninee and Calum. Cheers. Oh, cheers.
I'm married 4 times. It's pretty certain we're now married. I can't get rid of the ring. It's stapled to my finger. I would like to say thank you to everybody for coming. We've had a really nice time. This is the most beautiful country in the world. If you could just turn the temperature down about 20 degrees, it would be absolutely perfect. But we've had a fabulous time tonight. I'd like to thank Joy. Watt is over there somewhere, trying to hide. They've been an absolute godsend to organising all of this stuff, and also all of Ninee's friends have been outstanding, helping us get this organised. I'm not sure how many other ways I can say thank you, but we are so grateful for everyone for coming. Really, really, thank you a lot. Over to you.
จริงๆรู้สึกเหมือนกันว่าพูดขอบคุณไปหลายครั้งแล้วแต่ก็ แต่ก็อย่างที่บอกค่ะว่าจริงๆแต่งงานกันมาแล้วหลายรอบแต่ว่าอยากจัดงานที่เมืองไทยเพราะว่าอยากมีโอกาสที่จะได้มาใช้เวลากับคนกับเพื่อนๆญาติๆแล้วก็คนที่ให้ความสำคัญกับเราที่นี่ได้มีโอกาสมาแสดงความยินดีส่งใจมาให้เราก็รู้สึกเวลามองไปแล้วเห็นคนมาที่งานก็จะรู้สึกซาบซึ้งรู้สึกดีใจว่ามีคนที่รักและเป็นห่วงอยากแสดงความยินดีด้วยก็ขอบคุณทุกๆคนขอบคุณคุณพ่อคุณแม่ที่เป็นกำลังใจทำให้เนี่ยนะเป็นตัวตนของตัวเองได้ทุกวันนี้เป็นแรงบันดาลใจที่ทำให้ประสบความสำเร็จในชีวิตหน้าที่การงานและทุกอย่างให้เนี่ยนะเป็นคนเชื่อมั่นในตัวเองเป็นคนอยากทำอะไรอยากคิดอยากทำอะไรก็ทำแล้วก็เปิดกว้างที่จะยอมให้เนี่ยนะมาคบกับแคลัมที่ไม่ใช่คนไทยแล้วก็ yeah we're talking about you อ่าแล้วก็ขอบคุณเพื่อนๆบดินทร์แจงตูนแอลหมีอ่านที่แบบเมย์ที่ช่วยจัดการงานทุกอย่างวิ่งวุ่นกันมากมายงานที่สัมภาษณ์นี้นั่งติดกาวกันอยู่ตอนตี 1ได้ค่ะว่า ก็พูดจริงๆว่าการมีงานแบบนี้สิ่งที่นึงรู้สึกว่ามันทำให้ประทับใจที่สุดคือการที่ได้เห็นคนอื่นๆที่สละเวลามาหัวหินก็มาไกลก็ต้องขอบคุณทุกคนมากๆค่ะแล้วก็ขอบคุณเพื่อนๆที่เดินทางมาทั้งจากในกรุงเทพทั้งจากต่างประเทศก็ขอบคุณจริงๆค่ะ
And just one last thank you. I'd like to thank Paul for acting as MC and for Tati from coming over from the UK and acting as my mother. She doesn't look a day over my age at all, but she did a great job as mother. So thank you both very much.
Thank you. Put our hands together for Calum and Ninee. Of course you can.
โฟโต้บูธเขาอยู่ถึง3 ทุ่มนะคะถ้าเกิดใครอยากถ่ายรูป
I think there's something about a photo booth.
Yeah, the photo booth is available only until 9, so go at it.
We're just going to have a little bit more music, and then in about 30 minutes we'll do the cake cutting, and that'll be all the official acts done. Thank you.